everyone. We've come on just a few minutes early, so don't panic. But we just thought we'd log on so you could see we're here, ready to start for 2 o'clock. So do a chocolate and beetroot cake today. We're very well aware that it's an eventful day today. So our workshop will be starting bang on 2 o'clock, and we aim to finish by 2:30 so that anyone wanting to pay their respects to Prince Philip are able to do so. Just so happened that I picked a nice, easy recipe today.
Yeah.
So do feel free to say hello. We'll hang on and chit chat until 2 o'clock.
Yeah. Oh, nice cup of tea.
It is actually, isn't it? Maybe we just really needed it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's such a beautiful day today, isn't it?
I know, watered the garden. Yeah. So have we got anyone joining, or
we have got people joining? I've just not got any hellos yet. So
we've got a new stand as well, which should be a little bit closer to us. But I have warned Mr. Boozy Baker that if he touches it, it is
very wibbly wobbly,
a wibbly wobbly stand.
Yes.
And it will look like we're bungee jumping if we're not careful.
Not called a wibbly wobbly stand, obviously.
No.
We've got hello afternoon from Rona.
Hi, Rona.
Yeah, we.
Helen says this sounds delicious.
Yeah,
it is.
It really is, but it has. I've seen a few of the comments, and it has divided people a bit.
It has. I think we're going to have lost a lot of people today because it's not our usual kind of thing.
But you know
it
what?
Sounds a bit too healthy.
It is a bit healthy. Yeah. As healthy as a cake gets, I suppose.
Absolutely.
So afternoon, ladies, from Teresa. Hi from Linda in Nuneaton. Hello, ladies, from Pat. Francis, hello, about my 12th to 13th workshop.
Yay!
Well done.
Diana, hi, good afternoon. Can this cake freeze?
Haven't tried it, but there's no reason why it couldn't. Just bake it, pop it in the freezer, make sure it's well sealed, bring it out, and let it thaw completely.
And let us know.
Yeah.
We got hi from Chris in Somerset.
Hi, Chris.
Afternoon from Rose. Katie, hello, so looking forward to this. Candy, hi, good afternoon. Victoria, looking forward to today's session. Roxanne, hello, watching from Philippines. And Hannah from Yorkshire Dales.
Oh, lovely, all over the place.
And what the weather's like in the Yorkshire Dales, have we got this beautiful sunshine? It feels really spring-like.
Yeah.
Helen's saying, can she substitute with gluten-free flour?
Yes, I would imagine you can. This is quite a densey kind of fudgy type chocolate cake. Think more the brownie side of chocolate cake rather than a very light boingy sponge. So yeah, I think you'll be absolutely fine to do that. But if you haven't noticed, there is no dairy in this cake. So if you are lactose intolerant, or you know someone that is, this is a really good cake for them.
And we've given it the Erin test, haven't we?
Have done the Erin test.
We had to cut a piece and not tell her there was any beetroot in it.
And she likes it.
She did, yes.
Okay, we've got Layla, who's with us for the first time, looking forward to this recipe. The fact it's healthier is what attracted her to it.
Brilliant.
Jan says choc and beetroot yum. Afternoon from Rachel. Hi from Lee in Essex, who loved the carrot cake.
Brilliant. Yeah, we've got a lot of our workshops you will find on YouTube as well.
Yes. So
who's got Mr. Boozy Baker laughing?
Candy just said her kitchen looked like a scene from Dexter after opening the beetroot.
Actually, I haven't done that yet. Ours is still sealed, and I am a little bit concerned.
Have we got a chopping board? I've just said no.
No, it's just going in the bowl.
Oh, okay.
Casey's saying only sunflower oil. This would be an issue.
So vegetable oil, sunflower oil, that'll be fine.
Yeah.
Diana is saying it's warm in Ireland. Sunita is her third class. You're fantastic. She's from Bangalore in India.
Oh, fantastic. Thanks for joining us.
Leslie just home from work in Waterlooville. Sandra looking forward to it in sunny Bradford. And lovely in the Dales. Hi from Mandy and Stella. Hi from William in Scotland. Hi from Sharon in Cornwall.
Wow. Brilliant.
We actually got a new name for Waterlooville, haven't we? That's from
Wibble. Yeah, Erin thought she was going to wibble because Mr. B had written it down shorthand for the deliveries. And she was like, Daddy, are we going to wibble? This is...
Has it got to 2 o'clock?
It is 2 o'clock. So for anyone that's just logging on, I will just repeat this bit that this is a quick recipe today. It was just I say well timed, that's awful, but we just so happened to be doing a quicker recipe. So we are going to make sure that this workshop ends by about 2:30, so that anyone wishing to pay their respects to Prince Philip can do so. So if you're thinking, oh goodness, I'm not going to take part today because I don't want to be going on for an hour, we're not.
No.
It's half an hour. So I'm going to give you a few things to start off with, just so we can make sure these cakes get in quickly.
Yeah.
So you want to preheat.
No.
Preheat your oven to 180 for a conventional oven, 160 for fan, or gas mark 4. So if we make sure the ovens are up to temperature, because guys, this is a bit of a chuck it day. It's a chuck it all in.
Chuck it.
A chuck it all in.
You used to say bung it.
Do I do bung it all in?
Oh, bung it and chuck it.
A bung it and chuck it all in day.
Easy.
Yeah.
We've got more hellos from Sabina in Kildare in Ireland, Jane from Aberystwyth, and Tracy from Wiltshire, Barley from Coventry, and Leanne from Portsmouth. Williams asked, do we ever do Zoom call? We do private.
Yes. So if you are interested, we've been doing lots of them recently. You can book us for a private workshop. Whether that's for a company or a group. It doesn't have to be an organised group, it could be you and a bunch of pals.
Yeah.
But we do
parties.
We do parties, but we do private workshops of a variety depending on what you want to achieve. So if you're interested, just get in touch and we can discuss that with you. So along with your oven temperature, you're going to want to have a tin to put your batter in. Now I've recommended a 2-pound loaf tin, and I've just pre-lined that, if you can see, with some parchment paper, and I've just got enough sticking out the top like a hammock, so when it's all baked I can easily remove it. That's what I would recommend. So if you haven't done that already, you'll want a tin with, I've just put a bit of marge or a bit of oil just to grease it, and I've just lined it with a bit of parchment. I've actually gone one way. I haven't gone both.
I was going to say, Michelle has only done
I've just done.
She hasn't done the ends.
No, I haven't.
So make sure the ends are well greased.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't have a loaf tin, you can make this into cupcakes. You can put it in an 8-inch kind of Victoria sandwich type tin. If you're doing cupcakes, you want to cook for less time, so we have to remind you to come back to times. So you can use other things, but I just think it suits a loaf tin really nicely.
I think it does as well. Yeah.
Right. What if you're new? We normally go with a bit of a thumbs up system. That if you're ready to go, give us a thumbs up, and as we do bit by bit, just give us a thumbs up so we know you're with us.
Yeah, because we know that we've measured stuff out and we've already greased the tin. Now you might be sitting there trying to grease your tin while we're chatting. So what we need to know is, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. So if we got some thumbs up to start chucking it in.
You know what? They're so experienced.
They are. They know what we're doing.
Just for the new ones. So we've got lots of thumbs up.
Right. So beetroot. I will try not to have a Dexter moment myself. And you want about 225 grams of beetroot. Now I did say natural juices.
Yeah, not pickled.
Don't want. You just don't want vinegar because that will seriously alter your flavour. Now I would say that if I've got a package which is 250 grams. But by the time you've got the juices out of that and the packaging, it's about 225. So somewhere in that region is good. And I'm just going to gently take those out and give the packaging to Mr. B so that we don't get that everywhere else.
Just remember it stains.
It does, yeah. Clothing? So I've got a big plastic bowl today just because I want to put my hand blender in. If we are going to blend the entire mix, I should point that out now.
Yeah.
So if you have a food processor that you're using rather than a hand blender, then put the ingredients into that bowl and avoid having to tip everything from one to another.
Yeah.
Can you remind people of the oven temperature?
180 for conventional, 160 degrees Celsius for fan, and gas mark 4. So ours is already on for once. I've actually remembered to put the oven on.
Okay.
So
right temperature.
At the right temperature. Just checking. So we've got 225 grams of cooked beetroot, which they've been cooked in their own natural juices.
Yeah.
And I've added that to a bowl. We have a question.
Could we substitute eggs with something else?
No, I wouldn't, because it does rely on the binding.
Yeah.
So I think you would be looking for a bit of a different recipe to do that. So I would stick with the eggs personally. If you do something different, let me know how it turns out.
Yeah, we do like to know when you make a variation and tell us how it goes.
Yeah. So to your beetroot, you want to add 100 grams of caster sugar. That's it. That's all the, well...
We're done.
That's it. That's kind of as unhealthy as you get with the actual cake.
I see. Okay.
100 grams of caster sugar.
And you don't think this is unhealthy?
Well, dark chocolate isn't actually that unhealthy, is it? Because it has less sugar content in it, but you don't have to use it.
Oh, okay.
Because that's for after, so that's optional.
Okay.
You can be more naughty if you choose to.
Oh, yes.
So that's 225 grams of beetroot or thereabouts. Please don't worry about chopping up your beetroot to be 5 grams different. You've got 100 grams of caster sugar, 2 eggs. Now these are medium eggs. You should be fine with just large. Don't worry about it too much. But about that.
For those of you who are new to us, we're not exact in our measurements. We do a lot of ishing.
Not when we don't have to be. No. When we know that the recipe can handle a bit of ishing, then the egg size doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
So that's 2 eggs. I'm going to keep repeating. So that's 225 grams of beetroot, 100 grams of caster sugar, and 2 eggs. I told you it was a chuck it all in one.
Nice and easy.
You're going to want 100 ml of vegetable oil. If you've got sunflower oil, you can use that instead.
What about olive oil?
Yeah, you could.
I suppose it depends on the flavour of your olive oil.
It's got a different taste. So you can use olive oil, but you will be adjusting the taste of it.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're already sticking beetroot in, so go with it.
Yeah.
I just think they'll go well together.
Yeah,
olive oil and beetroot with chocolate.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't rule it out. We also want to add 20 grams of cocoa. So that's your chocolate that you're adding to your chocolate cake. Now, that is everything I want to add in for now. So I'm not putting the flour in.
Okay, so it's every single ingredient.
All I've got left is my flour, my baking powder and salt, and some chocolate if you want to put it on the top. Okay. So I'll go through it. We've got 225 grams of beetroot, we've got 2 eggs, 100 grams of caster sugar, 100 ml of oil, the vegetable oil, and 20 grams of cocoa powder.
Well done. Well
Thank you very much.
Like that conveyor belt program on the TV, wasn't it? Right.
So have we got, everyone has got that in their bowls? If you give us a thumbs up.
Brilliant. Have you got any children joining us today?
Yeah.
Although they should be out in the sunshine, really, shouldn't they? Today?
I don't know. This is quite a quick one. It's a good bring it in.
And actually,
have a moment out in the sun.
You can have a cup of tea later with your cake.
Exactly.
In the sunshine. Perfect afternoon tea.
I'm actually quite looking forward to this.
I am. I've decided, I shouldn't be saying it now, but I've decided that I'm going to have some clotted cream or something.
Are you?
I've decided.
Oh, okay.
I actually think it would be quite nice with a sort of cream cheese frosting as well.
Cream cheese frosting would be quite good.
Yeah,
if you want to add anything to your cake or you decorate it in another way, please do send us your photos because we do like seeing what you do.
If you have to do a practice one or two, obviously.
Pat's asked, is the beetroot chopped or grated?
No, because we're going to blend it all. So I've got a hand blender, but I did put on the event list, you can use a food presser if you prefer, if you don't have a hand blender, whichever you have available to you.
Can you repeat how much cocoa went in, please?
Yeah, 20 grams of cocoa powder.
And thank you to William for sending us 50 stars.
Oh, thank you very much, William. That's very kind. Yeah. Right, I'm going to get noisy now, but very carefully, particularly if you have a hand blender.
Yeah.
You're already moving aside. We want to blend all of this ingredients. So just be really careful, because obviously you've got wet ingredients and you've got beetroot, and everyone here has Mr. Boozy Baker's just grabbed a tray to protect himself. I'm not that bad usually. But I'm just going to gently.
Can you just run through the ingredients one more time, please,
yes.
Tom?
225 grams of cooked beetroot or thereabouts, 2 eggs, 100 grams of caster sugar, 100 ml of vegetable oil, and 20 grams of cocoa. So usually I do probably chat a bit more.
Yeah, we're just trying to
but I just want to make sure that we all finish a bit earlier today. So apologies if I've rushed through, although it is very much I put it all in the bowl.
Yes.
So right, okay, very carefully.
Pulse very, very slowly, just at first. Yeah.
I'm not plugged in. I'm thinking, oh goodness, that beetroot's
minus
right.
detail.
Okay, so I've actually got the blender over one of the beetroots.
Yep.
There you go, one's done.
One done. So it's literally put the whole of the head of the blender over the top of one beetroot.
Yeah, and I'm gently pulsing.
And then it pushes down. Whoa.
Right, there's
That's
2.
good.
There we go.
Whoa!
So I'm just pulsing and getting it all sorted. You're right, Mum.
I'm living on my nerves. It's okay.
Right, sorry for the noise. It's all quite runny now, so I'm just going to blend it so it's all quite smooth and together. Right, I think I've made enough noise.
You have.
Now the oil is sitting on the top, so I've got what looks like a bit of a red velvet cake going on, and that you've got this kind of purpley aubergine colour mix. Get me being organised today. I'll try and bring it to camera. I'll see if Mr. Boozy Baker can tell me if you can see that. Can they see that?
Yep.
Sure.
Yep. Lynn says it looks like a runny chocolate mousse.
Yes, you're right, it does.
Yeah, so I'm just going to stir. Oh, you know what? I've missed a big bit. Sorry, I'm going to need that back. Just found a big lump of beetroot. But it's okay, because I've been very careful with it. So give it a stir. If you've missed something like me, you can always go back to it. Bear with me. Now, where did it go?
Marion's used a liquidizer, so didn't have to worry about getting splashed.
Good idea.
Mind you, I have heard of people with the lid going on.
Oh, there it is. That's all done now. There we go. So I've blended it a bit more, and I've kind of stirred it with my blender, and it's kind of mixed the oil in now as well. Hang on, just make sure I don't.
You could make an awful mess with this.
You could, which is why, always use a bit of a bigger bowl so it's not splashing everywhere. So I'll show you. Sorry, Mr. B, can I just give you that? Thank you.
Julie's saying she's out and about at the moment, so we'll do it later. Will all the ingredients be somewhere?
The ingredients are always on the event page, so you can have a look at the about details and find them there. So there you go. Can I see that?
Mm-hmm.
Right, this is as simple as it gets.
Yeah, and it does look like a very runny chocolate.
It does.
Yeah.
You want to put in 170 grams of plain flour. I'm not even sieving this. You can if you want, but it doesn't. It's not lumpy, the flour. So 170 grams of plain flour.
Everything just goes in.
Just pop it in.
Okay.
So 170 of plain flour, and I'm going to put in 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. So I've already.
What happens? I know you told me not to ask
questions. Go
questions.
on. No, I didn't ask you to not ask questions.
I think she did because she wanted to finish.
Yeah, I just said let's not ask too many questions.
Okay,
so
well,
we
I'm going to ask
go on.
What happens if you've got self-raising flour and you don't
Yeah,
have
you know what? I would use it.
Okay.
But then I would not put so much
baking
powder in. I would reduce that to more like 3/4 teaspoon or something. So put half as much baking powder in. So you just want a pinch of salt with that as well, just to help with flavour.
Okay.
And then what you want to do is fold it in, but don't over mix it. And that's quite important with the texture, is that you just want to just combine it.
So folding it, for those of you who don't know what she's talking about, I think she's talking about bed linen, is just very gently mixing it together with a metal spoon.
Yeah, metal spoons are advisable, rather than, you can use wooden, but metal's supposed to help with air and incorporating it and not knocking it out.
Deirdre's asked, there's a few little lumps of beetroot okay? She's got it 98% blitzed.
Fine. So I'm just kind of turning, I'm putting the spoon at the bottom and then bringing it over the flour and just gently
folding it over and over.
Catching the edges, just scraping it round. But I'm not worried if we have a few bits of flour left. I will show you how it looks when I'm finished. So if you want to hang on.
So we're just trying to keep as much air in there.
Yeah. So I'll try and show you to camera. Can they see that?
Yeah.
So I'm just bringing it over lightly, just almost covering the flour with mix from underneath. And you can see it's just gradually incorporating, but I just want to be very careful not to knock too much air out of it.
Can you repeat how much baking powder went in?
It's 1.5 teaspoons. I did triple check this week.
Did you? Yeah, you were a bit worried last week, weren't you?
Right. So I can still see some flour. All I want to make sure is that I haven't got a big pocket of it somewhere. But if it's bits, that's fine.
Okay.
So if I show you, you can see little flecks of flour in there still. I'm happy with that. I don't need it to be massively.
But you don't want like a long line of it or a lump.
No. You don't want to kind of find that the batter bursts and there's just a big tablespoon's worth of flour in there.
Oh, how horrible.
No, you wouldn't want to eat that. So all you need to do is now tip it into your tin. Just make sure you've lined it and greased it. So if you haven't done that, don't worry, you can do that now. And you can see it's quite a thick batter. Again, not dissimilar from a bit more like a brownie mix.
I didn't see you make this in the practice one, so this is the first time I've only eaten.
I like this because I think, I make a lot of celebration cakes and very, very showy cakes. And I like this as a tea time. Sorry, guys, I'm going to have to just turn it around so I can scrape it. I like this as a tea time treat. I think it kind of embodies what a tea time cake should be. That you don't have to dress it up. You can just leave it as is. You don't need to put chocolate over the top.
No.
But I do quite like it as a finish, and it's not difficult to do. You don't need to. There's no piping bags or kind of wowie cutters or anything like that. It's all about the taste.
And I also think the chocolate just adds that little bit of sweetness.
It does.
Because this is not a very sweet cake.
Well, it's not. I think it's quite similar to a red velvet cake in texture. It's that bit more moist. And the kids lapped it up. And we don't put too much dark chocolate over the top.
No, it was just a drizzle, wasn't it?
Yeah. So, you can, as you said, you could put a cream cheese frosting on top. You could drizzle different, white chocolate, milk chocolate. You can dress it up as much as you want, or you could just leave it like this, or just dust it with a bit of icing sugar if you want to add a bit more sweetness.
You could even have it as a sort of pudding as well, couldn't you?
Yeah. So I'm going to show you in the tin. Can they see that all right?
I need to turn it a little bit more if you can. Brilliant. Yep.
So it's about half full. And you want to put that in the oven for between 30 and 35 minutes. What I would do is, if you've got a choice, put it in the middle of your oven in the centre, give it 30 minutes and then test it. The way I test cakes is, first and foremost, if I bring it out and it wobbles too much and you can see that it's still liquid, just gently close the door and put it back in for a good 10 minutes.
You do mean gently?
Yeah, don't slam doors, don't let a load of cold air rush in. Just gently close the door back up and give it another 10 minutes because that is really not ready. If you think actually it looks ready, you open the door, you open up the oven, and it's, it looks pretty firm, it looks like a cake should, cooked on top, and it may be a little rise. Give it a press with your fingers, just gently, because obviously it's hot, but gently, just press. Now, if it leaves a dent where your fingers were, it needs a bit longer, so put it in for another 4 or 5 minutes. If you press onto it and it bounces back up and it's springy, it means that the shape is formed. So that's a really good indication your cake is done. If you want to triple check, then get a skewer and put it into the centre of your cake. So at the point that's furthest away from the side, so it takes longer to bake in the middle. So put a skewer in the centre of your cake, and if you bring it out and it's not liquidy and it's, you know, it comes out clean, then it's done. So if you're not sure, if you think it needs a bit longer, just give it a few minutes and then test it again. And then bring it out and leave it to cool for a bit in the tin. You can eat this warm, it doesn't have to be stone cold, but just leave it to cool just so that it's a bit more sturdy before you move it.
Can you repeat the oven temperatures, please?
Yes, the oven you want at 180 Celsius for conventional, 160 Celsius for fan or gas mark 4. I'm going to pop mine in now.
How long are you popping it in for?
30 to 35 minutes. So let's put that in and put a timer on it. Oh.
So that was really easy, wasn't it? Really easy.
Yeah.
It's a good job that we're finishing early today, otherwise they'd have to put
Well, I
up
know.
with chatting
I mean, that
for
was 20 minutes and we've made the cake.
Yeah.
So hopefully, even if you're a little bit behind us, you know, you'll be on your way, that you've made a cake within a very short amount of time. And actually, I think it's really good because it doesn't take too long to bake either. So, you know.
It's a good one to have up your sleeve, isn't it, when you've got visitors coming and you say, oh yes, pop over for a cup of tea, which we'll be able to do on the 17th of May, won't we?
Yes.
Yes, so we'll be like, come and have a cup of tea and you can cook
I think it's a really good one, and as I said, it's lactose free, it's dairy free, so great if you're lactose intolerant or just trying to cut it down a bit more. And it's not got too much sugar in it. So
and beetroot's a superfood, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Antioxidants.
There you go.
There you go.
How long for an individual bun tin?
You didn't remind me.
I'm sorry.
So for cupcakes, you want to do 20 minutes at most. Probably check them after about 17. If you're going to do a cake tin and you've got it in 2 parts, actually,
like a Victoria sandwich.
Check after 20, but I actually think it might take 30 still.
Do you?
Yeah, but check after 20. I suppose if they're thin, 20.
I'd say 20.
Not a question anyone's asked, but the chocolate?
Oh yes, well done. So the chocolate, I've got some here that really I would suggest melt this down. Either do short bursts in the microwave. I've suggested about 50 to 70 grams of chocolate, and I've got dark just because, again, out of all the chocolates, it's going to be the most healthiest. So either do short bursts in the microwave of a few seconds, like 10-15 seconds, and then give it a stir 10-15 seconds. You don't want to burn chocolate, and you just want to get it to a point that it's starting to melt, and then you can always stir it in and melt it into each other. You don't have to keep cooking it. If you haven't got a microwave, you can either gently heat it in an oven, obviously use a heat-proof container, gently heat it in the oven for a few minutes, like if you've taken the cake out. My microwave is broken at the moment, so I've become a bit of a so I'm getting a bit inventive. So as the cake comes out and I've turned the temperature off on the oven, I tend to chuck my chocolate in there at the moment and let it melt down, and then after a couple of minutes,
that's a good idea,
after a couple of minutes, I bring it out and just stir it until it's completely melted down, and then you can just get your spoon and just drizzle it over the top. Or even if
it's need to ice or anything, but you could just pour it.
I was going to say, actually you could just, obviously be careful if it's a hot container, but you could just drizzle it over the top.
You might even have a small jug. Mind you, be careful that they're
The other option, if neither of those are doable, is get a pan of hot water, get a heat-proof bowl over the top, and add your chocolate. Put some water in the pan and turn it on, and then put your chocolate in the bowl.
But don't let this bit.
No, don't let it touch the water, and you can melt it gradually like that.
Lorraine saying, can you use gluten-free and baking flour and baking powder?
Yeah, I think you can. I haven't done it myself, but I can't see why you couldn't. That seems a reasonable recipe for that.
Yeah.
Candy says, it doesn't look especially appetising, but I have faith, as every other recipe of yours I've tried has been super yummy. Anyway, it's in the oven, and she sent 50 stars.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, it's a bit of a simple one.
Yes.
And we have done cakes before that are a little bit more kind of
roulades and things.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
this is not a showy cake.
This was. No. We're doing a healthy eating week for a company, so I was like, actually, we'll come up with something a bit more healthier. So this was my nod to a healthier cake, but I wouldn't do it if it wasn't nice, because it still has to have all the taste.
Yes.
So I think you'll enjoy eating it for sure.
Courgette muffins next week. No, I'm joking.
Oh, talking about next week, I haven't organised anything. I'm really sorry.
Oh, it might be courgette muffins next week then.
Well, it's my birthday next weekend. It's actually on my birthday, so I need to find out from Mr. Boozy Baker if we're going
You might have to have me doing it while they're out for the day.
No, I don't think we'll be going out necessarily, but I do need to check. If we are, then I'll put a one that's pre-recorded for next week. So there will be a workshop at 2 o'clock next week. I will just chat after this, most likely, as to what we're going to do. So sorry to leave you in the lurch on that, but we've
I'd actually forgotten it was your birthday. Sorry, I've been so busy concentrating on errands, which is the day before.
I know. Yeah, my daughter's is the 23rd, and then mine's the 24th. So I will get on top of it, but there will be something for you next week, and I wouldn't be surprised if we are around and doing it, but we'll see.
We might hold like a mini birthday party.
Yeah, tea party online.
Yeah.
Mia's just licked the bowl, it's yummy. Rachel's saying have a weekend off, and Leslie said her daughter is on Sunday, so
it's the best weekend for us.
Yeah.
Well, that is it, guys. What time is it? We're nearly at past. So if you have enjoyed this little mini whirlwind workshop, as many of you know, we do have a giving page, which is at www.buymeacoffee.com/Boozy Bakers. I'll put the link on our Facebook page, but if you want to virtually buy us a drink, you are more than welcome to add it to there. And of course, if you want to do more baking, please do check out our YouTube channel, which is filled with free workshops for you to enjoy, from cheesecakes and apple pies and pizzas, cinnamon buns, gooey chocolate cookies. There's loads. I made some of those the other day, didn't I?
You did.
They were good.
I wasn't with you.
Oh no, you didn't eat them, did you?
No.
I didn't save you one either. Oh no, I feel bad.
Typical. Yeah.
I'll have to make some more. So yeah, do go and check out Boozy Bakers at YouTube.
And of course a shop. If you want to send anybody any gifts or anything.
Yeah, we have an online shop at www.boozybakers.co.uk. That's full of treats.
Lee has her birthday on Friday, hoping to make this again for a small tea party in the garden.
Oh, excellent. And our scones. Go have a look on YouTube.
Yes.
Make some scones.
Oh, and there's those nice biscuits that we've got.
Yes.
They're nice and easy.
Yeah. Maybe some Bakewell tarts.
Yes.
We've got bread on there. You can make little rolls for your sandwiches. Got you sorted there.
Leanne says, thank you as always, have a great birthday. Sharon, thank you as always, can't wait to try a piece later. Sue, thank you, looks and smells good. Now to wait for it to cook to taste it.
I know, the waiting bit, isn't it? It takes longer to bake than to make. And do send us your photos, because we love seeing them.
Yes.
Renata from East Sussex, first workshop, really enjoyed it. Happy birthday for next weekend.
Thank you very much.
Tracy, fantastic workshop, thank you, happy birthday. Rachel, thank you for another great workshop.
Yeah. Sorry it was short.
Yeah,
but,
it's one of those weeks, and so we will leave you to the rest of your weekend, and we will be back next week in some form of another with a surprise workshop that I haven't worked out yet. So I'll be on to that, I promise, and we'll put up some more for future weeks as well. All right, guys, thanks very much for joining us. Bye.